Previously on Crumplebottom University, Cleo and Remington renewed their vows in a beautiful beach ceremony. Then, they jetted off to Al Simhara and went on a totally normal honeymoon where nothing weird happened. This episode, Zara and Sloane are getting married themselves and then heading off to Crumplebottom for a romantic Parisian honeymoon. While Zara waited for Sloane to come home from work, she invited Blair and Juno over for some coffee, and more importantly, some gossip. Zara's wedding was the very next day, so she wanted to have some girl time. As they hung out, they reminisced about the good times they had as roommates. But after Juno farted, Zara was happy they no longer lived together. And after chilling at the house for a while, they went down to the boardwalk. The boardwalk was eerily empty. They had the whole place to themselves. Zara tested her strength, and her perfectionist ways had her wishing she was a bit stronger. Finally, Sloane came back from work. Zara said goodbye to Blair and hello to Sloane. It was time to partake in their Sunday night tradition, going bowling. Sloane wanted to improve his skills and join the elite bowling team, the Pin Pals. So they headed to their usual bowling spot, American Rust Diner in Willow Creek. Then they put on their ugliest shoes and bowled a 3-frame game. Remember, to join the Pin Pals, Sloane needs to beat the leader, Selma. She's level 5 and Sloane is only level 1. And Zara, she's just trying her best. After a bit, Sloane reached level 2, one step closer. Now that Sloane was level 2, he started to mansplain bowling to Zara, who politely listened. In a huge surprise, Zara won! Sloane tried to put on a brave face, even though he was so broken inside. Then they headed upstairs to get some dinner, but it was very busy and the hostess was getting pissed. Also, the cook kept setting stuff on fire. But they finally found a table and decided to sit right next to each other. They had a nice and romantic post-bowling date. There's something about a diner that makes you feel young and flirty again. After taking some pictures in the photo booth, Sloane and Zara headed home to rest up before their wedding. And they accidentally dined and dashed. Should Sloane arrest himself? How does this work? Anyway, once they got home, they brushed their teeth and headed straight to bed. The next morning, they woke up and started getting ready for their wedding, which was set to start at 10 a.m. Sloane even took a shower. Zara had some pre-wedding jitters, so she did some cleaning while Sloane just stayed out of her way. Then, Zara and Sloane spent some quality time together before heading over to the venue. The wedding was set to take place at the Pinecone Chapel, a beautiful venue in Glimmerbrook. The weather was great, and they were having an outdoor wedding. Zara went around setting up the food and drinks. I don't know why these Sims always want to serve chicken wings at these weddings, but that's their choice, I guess. The last thing Zara did before changing into her wedding dress was clean up this mess some bratty townie kid left. Then guests began to arrive and take their seats. Oh yeah, by the way, Sloane's co-worker Selma is pregnant. And Zara's mother and father sat in the front row, perfect spot for them to criticize their daughter's wedding. Finally, Zara Wren and Sloane Flexer were officially wed. It's time for the party to begin. Everyone grabbed some chicken wings, obviously. And Salem warmed up the dance floor. Zara caught up with some old friends and continued to eat a lot of chicken. Oh yeah, Ruby is also pregnant. Everyone was having such a blast. Even Zara's father, Winston, was smiling, slightly. Then Zara and Sloane performed a coordinated dance. Wonder how long they've been practicing this. Zara famously hates to dance, so this was probably Sloane's idea. Oh my gosh, and Ryder's pregnant too. Who isn't pregnant at this point? After Sloane got this passive-aggressive text from a stranger, Zara and Sloane had their first slow dance as a married couple. Of course, Zara's mom looked on disapprovingly. Then she proposed a fun idea: Sunday night dinners at their place to get to know the couple better. In a previous episode, Sloane and Zara's parents duked it out. But Zara and Sloane look like they're in it for the long haul, so they should learn to get along. Zara grabbed the nearest glass of wine to cope, and when the party came to an end, Zara literally sprinted off the lot. When they got home, they had one thing on their mind: their very first woohoo! Sloane has come a long way from sleeping in a pepperoni sleeping bag on the living room floor. Zara was feeling on fire, and for the first time in a while, not literally. Oh, and while they were woohooing, Zara got promoted somehow, and that brought their total woohoo count to 1. Now, let's head over to Champs-les-Sims for Zara and Sloane's honeymoon. After hopping off the plane, they arrived at their rental apartment. It was beautifully decorated with Parisian decor. After taking a tour of their apartment, they made another pit stop in the bedroom for woohoo number 2. Then they went downstairs to savor the romantic sights and hang out at the cafe like two poets. But the romantic mood was soured when Zara's stomach started hurting. Would a stomach flu ruin her honeymoon? After relaxing, they took a stroll to the Eiffel Tower. Ooh la la! Zara is not above being a tourist, apparently. Afterwards, they strolled past this Parisian roller skating rink and to this fancy restaurant called the Creme Brulee. After finding their seat, Zara ordered them dinner. She still won't let Sloane order for himself, I guess. During dinner, Zara taught Sloane all about the catacombs and tried to entice him into exploring them with her. If Blair and Juno are allowed to explore during their honeymoon, then why not Zara and Sloane? Zara enjoyed her dinner of caviar, while Sloane dined on a charcuterie board. Check out all that fromage. But suddenly, Zara had a bathroom emergency. But luckily, she made it to the bathroom on time. Afterwards, Zara told Sloane all about how she was fighting for her life in the bathroom. Then they walked home together in the beautiful moonlight. Side note, why can't Sims walk together? And is there a mod that lets Sims walk together? Please comment if you know. Thank you. Other than Zara's mysterious stomach illness, it's been an excellent honeymoon so far. Tomorrow, they were going to hit up the Louvre and maybe even explore the catacombs and get some rare nectar. The next morning, Zara woke up, nervous that her stomach bug was going to ruin her honeymoon. Zara retraced her steps. Was it something she ate? And then things started to click. Her stomach started hurting after she and Sloane woohooed. But there's no way she's pregnant. She went to the bathroom to take a pregnancy test just for fun. And oh my God, she was pregnant! Zara told Sloane right away, and of course he was so supportive, but he was also wary of her exploring the catacombs in that state. Sloane decided to make them breakfast to celebrate, while Zara thought about some names. She was so ready to have a baby, and she knew that Sloane would be an amazing father. Look at that, he even cut the eggs into little hearts. Sloane was getting smelly, so he showered before they headed over to the Louvre. Together, they admired the beautiful art. Sloane seemed fond of this large head. Zara shared her unsolicited thoughts on some of the pieces. And they took a break and got some hot chocolate and had some DMCs. Zara was feeling super tired, so they decided to go back to their rental, take a nap before going on their next excursion. And wouldn't you know, while they were napping, Ruby gave birth to a daughter named Valencia Vasquez. And then Minso gave birth to a boy named Ruben Blackmore. When they woke up, it was time for them to head over to the Escargot Express Lounge for a good time. But before they could even step into the place, Cleo called and asked if she should try for baby with her husband Remington. Zara wasn't ready to announce her own pregnancy, but she told Cleo to go for it. After helping other people make major life decisions, they headed inside. They got a big, heaping plate of French fries, and of course they talked about their future. A friendly local joined them for a conversation, but she may have just been using them for the French fries. After they ate, they decided to explore the catacombs. They say pregnant people can't get into hot tubs or eat sushi, but they don't say anything about exploring ancient catacombs, Sloane. After exploring a bit, they headed into this dungeon door. There, they found a fully functional nectar-making machine. Zara tried her hand, or foot, at making nectar. After crafting a bottle, they decided they would drink it on their first wedding anniversary. Unlike their relationship, it was poor quality, but maybe it would age well. They finally emerged from the catacombs. They watched some fireworks at the Eiffel Tower. And then Zara threw up. And she serenaded Sloane. And this guy over here was probably live tweeting the whole thing. Then they headed back to their apartment for their last night in Champs-les-Sims. And Zara had her first pregnancy craving for watermelon sorbet. They decided to woohoo again because it's not like they could get even more pregnant. The next morning, they went back to Copperdale. They had so much fun on their honeymoon, but it was time to start getting ready for this baby. When they got home, their tiny house seemed even smaller. It's time to make some changes and make room for their new baby. And as you can see, they expanded their house a little bit. The kitchen is bigger, and the baby's room is immaculately decorated. They got some books, some Play-Doh, and all the toys a kid would need, including this toy spray bottle that Zara the Virgo insisted on getting. Oh, and they also got this little slide for when the baby's older. What a lucky duck. Of course, as soon as Zara got home, she planned a baby shower to announce her pregnancy. Blair and Ruby were the first ones there. Everyone was so happy for Zara, and Sloane just laid back, drank some coffee, and let the ladies do all that yapping about babies. Cleo gave Zara a big hug. She was so excited that they were both pregnant at the same time. They wondered if their babies would also be best friends and go to college together. Zara was so happy to have her friends by her side during this exciting time in her life. Then Ryder showed up, who was also far along in her pregnancy, and they tried their best to hug each other. Sloane fired up the barbecue and made black bean burgers for everyone. Look at him, it's like he's already a dad. He had visions of summers in Copperdale hosting barbecues for his family one day. Everyone rushed outside for his burgers. Look, they're bigger than their heads. Finally, it was time for people to go home. Zara was tired and needed to rest. She settled down and watched a movie with Sloane. But then she got hungry again and got up and made a quiche. Look at her, she made the dough from scratch. We need to get this woman on TikTok. And then Ryder gave birth to a girl named Blake Fletcher. Soon it would be Zara's turn. She was glad because her back was starting to hurt. And after getting ready for bed, of course, another sim gave birth. Selma welcomed her son, Tristan Burb. But she didn't stay in bed for too long. She woke up in the middle of the night to appease her latest craving, blueberry sorbet. Then, vibing with the color blue, she decided to go out and check on her bluebell plants. Then, after going to the bathroom for the 100th time, she went back to bed. The next morning, Sloane woke up and had some quiche for breakfast. It was Blair's birthday, and she was going to have a party at her local pub later that night. But first, Sloane had to go to work. Today, he had to interrogate a suspect. He was pretty nervous. When he got to the station, it was raining cats and dogs. But he was so glad his favorite coworkers, Selma and Griffin, were both there. He didn't have time to chit-chat, though. He needed to get his assignment. His assignment for today was to examine the crime scene at the seedy warehouse, which may look familiar because Blair actually DJ'd here when they were in college. When he got back to the station, he entered the crime scene info and finally got to interrogate a perp. First question he asked, what is going on with that hair? To get answers from this guy, Sloane pretended to be his friend. Then he pretended to be his enemy. He was cracking like a nut. All he had to do was pull out the case files. And he got a confession. After keeping Sim City safe from another perp with weird hair and chatting a bit with Selma, he headed home. Zara and Sloane were supposed to go to Blair's birthday party, but looks like the baby had other plans. That's right, it was time. I'd like to introduce the newest addition to the Crumplebottom University world, Wren Bluebell Flexer. She was born on the same day as Blair, the 5th of summer, making her a Leo. Well, this has been a roller coaster of an episode. Thank you for sticking through with me. Next time, Blair and Juno will be trying to get pregnant. And Cleo's gonna give birth. Oh my goodness. But thanks everyone. See you next time. Love you so much. Goodbye.